Hi, everyone. Today, I would like to spend a little bit more time talking about the shadow self and how the shadow self can, cause some emotional issues. So, yesterday, I had a perfect example. Was it yesterday? Yeah. So, I had to run out and run some errands. And when I came home, I stopped at the end of my driveway and I got out of my truck and I went to the mailbox to see if the mail was there. And we have neighbors that live not too far from us. And they've got 3 dogs. Actually, I think they might have 4 dogs, but they've got 3 of them that are pit bulls. Now, I have no problem with pit bulls at all whatsoever. I know a lot of people who have pit bulls that are really great. I have problems with people who can't control their animals. And I was walking back from the mailbox to my truck on my own property, and the dogs were outside, unattended, off leash, and they came after me. Now, I have a tendency to not be really afraid of dogs because I've been around them my whole life, and I know these dogs really don't mean me any harm because they think that they're just trying to protect their space. They don't understand the property line. They don't understand that I'm on my property. They just see me as a threat. So I have these 3 giant pit bulls snarling and growling and barking at me, hackles raised. And this isn't the first time that it's happened. And it makes me very, very angry because I remember a time when I was younger where somebody I know was attacked by a dog. And so while I know that these dogs are just doing what they're meant to do, they're trying to protect their property, they're trying to protect their people, their family, and they don't understand that I'm on my property, I mean them no harm, I'm not doing anything wrong. There's still something inside of me, number one, that terrifies me because you've got 3. I'm 5 feet tall. I weigh like 130 pounds, and I've got 3 giant pit bulls, like just growling and snarling, and so I'm just standing there with my head down, looking at the ground, not looking at them, thinking to myself, these damn people, how can they not control their animals? And I'm just getting furiously upset, like absolutely furious. I don't want to hurt the dogs. I don't want them to hurt me. I don't want to have a bad relationship with my neighbors because I have to live next to them. But there's this part of this entire situation that's triggering an old memory in me, and it's causing this crazy emotional upheaval. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, if I had dogs coming at me, I would be, really upset too. But the dogs were easily 15 feet away. They never came right up to me. They have come to within 5 feet of me before, but they've never actually come up to me. They've stopped far short. And I don't really feel threatened by them. But again, there's this whole issue within me that's triggered because I remember this thing that happened when I was a kid, and the issue that it caused with my friend. I mean, she had a lot of problems. She ended up having reconstructive surgery, and it was really traumatic to see somebody get bit, and to have to go through the pain and the suffering of dealing with the injury. And not only the injury, but she became terrified of dogs, absolutely terrified, which is really hard because there are dogs everywhere. She can't go to parks, she can't go to a lot of public places, she can't even go into some stores because there are a lot of places like Lowe's and Home Depot and pet food stores and stuff like that allow people to bring their pets inside. You have restaurants where people have dogs outside, and it just makes it really, really difficult for her. So I have all these things running through my head. And then on top of that, I'm thinking, these damn people, why can't they control their dogs? Why are their dogs outside? Why are they not outside with them? Why aren't the dogs on a leash? Why aren't they in a pen? Why are they just running around, running after people? And I'm just getting more and more angry and more upset. And it just made me furious, absolutely furious. And it took me, I had a hard time sleeping last night because I was so angry and upset about it. And so I spent some time today thinking about it because, this thing, again, I know that they didn't mean me any harm. And the people were, they're like, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, sorry doesn't help me if I get bit, blah, 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 whatever. But, I pull up to the top of my driveway. I get out of the car. I slam the door. I open the back door, get all my stuff out, slam that door, and stomp in the house. I didn't look at them. I didn't say anything. And I was just absolutely furious. And it just really, really messed with me all night long. I had indigestion because I was so upset. I had a hard time sleeping because I was so upset. And when I woke up this morning, tired because I didn't sleep very well, I was thinking, like, this is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I had a right to be a little bit upset about what they did, but to become so absolutely furious over it is just unbelievable. And this isn't to say that, this kind of stuff doesn't happen. So I have been practicing mindfulness and meditation for close to 20 years. And I still have things that trigger me, and that trigger me to a point where I am just like, I was livid. I wanted to just strangle somebody. And I'm a vegan. I don't want anything to die, right? But I was just like, I just want to go over there and just like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Why can't you control your animals? So, you have to kind of look at these situations and the things that are causing the pain, the things that are causing the anger, the things that are causing the frustration, the things that are causing the anxiety. And just understand that, okay, my friend's issue, that happened to her. It didn't happen to me, but it happened in the past. And while something like that, it is possible for it to happen again, the likelihood of it happening is really very low. There aren't a lot of dog attacks per se. It's just not a very common thing. And understand that the dogs, were well intentioned. So try and figure out, like, the root cause of my frustration. And the root cause of my frustration is because these people really wouldn't they really wouldn't control their animals. Like, I'm looking around for them. I see the dogs outside and they're coming at me, and I'm hearing them barking and growling and everything. And I look, and the people are nowhere. They were in their house. Their door was shut, not just their screen door, but like their actual door was shut. And I was just like, how can you, after you know that they've come after me like twice, not that you're going to expect every single time you open the door that, there's going to be somebody outside, but like with COVID going on, there's people walking around all the time. There's families with kids. People are walking, they're walking their dogs. They're out riding bikes, and there are other animals out, and there's like birds, and we've got geese in the yard, and they've got babies, and so just like all these things, like I'm just getting more and more pissed off because I'm thinking about all these things. Like, I can't believe these people were irresponsible. I can't believe that, they would do this thing. I can't believe. And then when I woke up this morning, I was just thinking, like, I can't believe that I let that get to me as bad as it did. It was unbelievable how stressful and how frustrating that was for me. And the people were like, they took their dogs in the house and they went inside and they probably had dinner and watched TV and were just enjoying their night, let their dogs out again before they go to bed, not even thinking anything about it. And me, I'm just like, I want to just kill them because they didn't like control their dogs. They didn't think about anything else that was going on. And so you really have to work on the issues, like the core issues. What is it about this situation that triggered me? And try and figure out a way to accept that part of myself, to bring that part of myself to light. And this is something I'm going to have to work on because this just happened yesterday. So I don't know what, besides, the thing that happened to my friend, what the trigger was. There has to have been something else that caused that type of reaction. And, work on trying to, control the situation. And not only to control the situation, in some situations you really can't control the situation. You can only control yourself. To recognize and realize that, the situation is causing you to be irritable, irritated, angry, frustrated, and to stop like right then. And so, I came inside after that and made dinner, and my husband and I had dinner. And after dinner, I was like, let's go for a walk. And so we went for a walk, and I was just being all pissy. And there's some people down the street that just built a new house and they were having landscaping put in. And, Jeff was like, oh, look, it looks really nice. And I was like, whatever. And he's like, someone who teaches about mindfulness and positivity, he's like, you're being pretty damn negative. And I was like, I didn't even recognize it until he called me out on it. And this was hours later. And then I got even more frustrated with myself because I let it get to me for so long. I didn't recognize that it was happening. And, that it just caused all these issues. And so you have to, ask people for help, ask people to let you know, like if I'm acting irrationally, if I'm saying things that are out of turn, if I am acting fearful or, not acting normal, let me know about it. Because a lot of these things that we do, they're unconscious habits. It's something that we've been doing for so long, and it's so ingrained in our psyche. It's so much a part of who we are that we don't even recognize it. We don't even notice that it's happening. And it's not until somebody else says, hey, why are you acting like that? Why are you talking like that? Why are you treating me this way? That you have a snap realization. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. I can't, or after the fact, like you're completely done with the situation and it just hits you like a ton of bricks. Oh my God, I was, I can't believe I was acting like such an idiot. I can't believe I said those things. And so if you're in the situation, if you're in the moment and someone calls you out on it, then you can say, oh, wait a minute. And then you can kind of look at what it was that triggered you. Because a lot of times, if it's really, really far down the line that you think about it, you can't really recall what the specific trigger was. But if somebody can catch you right now while it's happening and say, hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting like a psycho hose beast? And you can say, oh, okay, wow, yeah, this was, this thing that just happened. And, somebody cut me off in traffic and I got really angry. Or, I went to the store and I couldn't find toilet paper and I got really upset. Or, I heard something on the news that made me really upset. Or I had a conversation with somebody and that made me really upset. Or I have something to do tomorrow that I don't want to do and that's making me really anxious. Trying to be cognizant of these things as they're happening. I have a group of friends that I talk to fairly frequently, and they all know, like, if I am acting irrationally, please call me out. I want you to call me out on it because I need to know what I'm doing, and then that way I can work on fixing that, whatever it is. Because we don't just have one trigger. We don't just have one thing that we need to work on. We have multiple things. And a lot of these things, they come up in really weird ways. Sometimes they don't come up frequently. Sometimes they come up really often. It could be a daily thing, a weekly thing, a monthly thing, or even something that just comes up once or twice a year because I don't know, like I have a pool and we open the pool once a year and we close the pool once a year. So maybe something happens those 2 times of the year, spring, fall, whatever. There's something about like Valentine's Day that, or like a holiday or the end of school year or something that causes a trigger that you don't recognize. And, if you can catch yourself and be mindful of what it is that, number one, that you're doing, and number two, what caused the issue, then you can really work on these aspects of the shadow self that are really, really buried down deep. Now, another way that the shadow self has of really messing with you is, self-sabotage. This is one that I was really, really great at for a really long time. I love my parents, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love my parents. They did the best that they could with the knowledge that they had, and I'm alive. I don't have anything like majorly wrong with me. I mean, we're all messed up in the head, right? We all have stuff that we've gone through. We all have things that have happened to us that make us all screwed up. It's how we deal with it that really matters. And I didn't have really good role models for relationships. And because I didn't have really good role models for relationships, I didn't understand how a good relationship was supposed to be. And I don't really even know that there is such a thing as a truly good relationship. There's relationships that work and relationships that don't. And every relationship prior to the one that I'm in now, they did not work. And part of the reason why was I self-sabotaged. And even with this relationship, I tried because I got somebody who treated me completely differently than every other relationship I'd ever been in. And I tried so hard to destroy the relationship because it was so foreign and unknown to me. And it was really odd because like there's these things going on that I really don't understand. He's really nice to me. He asks my opinion. He listens to me. He holds the door open for me. So it's just a really different change for me. And so, I have this tendency or had this tendency to really try. I mean, and it wasn't a conscious thing. It was an unconscious thing. And it wasn't until I, recognized that I was doing it that I could truly make efforts to stop it. And, even with my book, I just published a book, and every time that I had time scheduled, like I would have my planner and I do, I don't know if I've talked about it on here or not or whatever, but I do time blocking. And so with my planner, I have like, these time blocks, and I would put like, from this time to this time and draw arrows. I'm going to sit in my office and I'm going to read, or I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to write and write. And an opportunity would come up, and I think to myself, right opportunity. I'm going to go with the opportunity. And so I never would get my writing done. And that went on for so long. I was sabotaging myself because I was terrified of what would happen if my book came out. There were so many things that I was afraid of. So I actually worked with a coach for 6 months on working past these things and getting through all the issues in order to get my book completed and get it out. And then I got my book completed and it was done, absolutely done. Sent it to an editor, got it back, and it was done. And I still didn't send it to the publisher because I was just like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then a month goes by. I'll get to it next week. And then another month goes by. And so, I just kept putting it off and doing these other things instead. So that is a form of self-sabotage. So we really need to be mindful about, what it is that's causing us to have these reactions or causing us to self-sabotage. So that's a lot. That's a lot for today. I know we've really gone into a lot of deep things, and if you really, really want to work on finding these different things about yourself that are deep within you, then I really, really recommend you try journaling and meditation. Journaling is one of the greatest ways for you to get stuff. I mean, even when I was writing, I would have things come out that I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot about that. And this old hurt, this old wound, this old thing, and when you're writing these things out, you really kind of pull them up, and you can bring them up from the depths of wherever they are, and you bring them to the surface. And once you see them, you're like, really? That's really kind of strange that I was afraid of that, or that was causing that reaction. And you can just kind of let it die. Or you can change the belief that was shaping that reaction to something completely different. So you have the power to choose. You have the power to choose how you think, how you act, how you react, but you can't be powerful if you don't know what you're doing. So, ask people for help. Ask people to let you know what you're doing, when you're doing it, and then when you do it, try and figure out what it is, like truly what it is that's causing the issue. And it's not going to be something that's going to be easy, and it's not going to be something that's going to like come right away. But I promise you that if you do that, it will work and it will help. So until next week, I hope you guys stay safe and stay positive and enjoy what's looking to be a pretty nice spring. So thanks, and have a good one.